Oh boy, here we go again. Back to work tonight. Hope you guys had a fantastic end of the month trading session, but it's about that time of day again here, folks. Time to get back to work Tuesday evening. It's the end of the month. It's August 31st, 2021. My name is Joseph, and as always, welcome back to your nightly newsletter. Now, if you're watching for the first time tonight, if you're here for the first time, it's great to meet you. My job tonight is to help us find the best trade setups for tomorrow. Not just any Wednesday, brand new month, transition into a new month. Wednesday trading session. I got a great video in store for you guys tonight. Charts are already in the background. As you can see, S&P's here, Nasdaq's here. Oh, the gold is always here, isn't it? Glad to see you are here right along with me here tonight. Got a lot of great trades on my radar for tomorrow. Got some ranges on the charts. So we're trading rotation, we're trading breakouts, we're trading failures, maybe some big reversals, maybe some short squeezes tomorrow as well. You know, we're traders, of course, here in our trade room, so we'll trade whatever the market gives us. But I got a bunch of really great trades on my radar for tomorrow's Wednesday's trading session. By the end of this video tonight, you'll know my favorite trades for tomorrow to keep yourself in the green, whether you're trading on your own or whether you're trading with us tomorrow morning in our trade room. Now, of course, before we jump into the video tonight, as always, I want to encourage you, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I publish this video with my best trade ideas every evening on this channel. I don't want you to miss tomorrow night's video, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit that little bell icon so you always get notified every time I publish something new. And also, too, don't forget, if you have any questions for me, drop those questions in the comments section. I would love to answer any questions that you might have along the way, so don't be shy in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoy this video as much as I enjoy making it, if you tune in every evening, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up here for me. I really appreciate you guys carving some time out every evening to join me on this video newsletter. But enough of the intro. Time is ticking, though. Let's get this going. End of the month. Wednesday, boy, September. Here we come. There goes that summer 2021. Well, we're not out of the summertime yet. We got the Labor Day weekend coming up this weekend. The official kickoff of the fall season is next Tuesday in our trade room. Very, very excited, but let's see if we can make the most of the rest of this kind of holiday shortened trading week here. What's going on right now? A lot of ranges on the charts. As you can see, get a range on the S&P, get a range on the Nasdaq, got a range on the gold. You know, ranges are pretty straightforward. We're finding levels of resistance above, we're finding areas of support below, and we're trading rotation, right? Trading rotation. We're buying low, we're selling high, and we're focusing on failures. Now, there's a couple clues tonight on these charts that say some breakouts might be on our way tomorrow. Maybe some long breakouts to retest these highs. Maybe some short breakouts if those buyers fail. So I've got some, I'm pretty optimistic for tomorrow's new month Wednesday trading session. We're going to break down all my favorite trades throughout this video here tonight. Before we jump in and get our hands dirty on each of these individual charts, though, let's make sure we check our schedule for tomorrow, because of course tomorrow is a brand new month. End of the month, new month, always expect to see more volatility. We talked about that last night on the video newsletter. So as we transition into this first few days of a new month, I would anticipate this volatility to continue to stay elevated. At the same time, tomorrow, we do expect to see some big news tomorrow. You can see there's a lot of stuff on the calendar. We got the ADP employment number. That's probably not going to be that big of a deal. The big news tomorrow, though, is absolutely going to be that PMI manufacturing final and that ISM manufacturing index. Those will be two big news reports tomorrow, 9:45 and 10 o'clock. Now, as you guys know, I always like to look for a setup for a trade right around 9:40, 9:45. So that 9:45 news tomorrow might put a little bit of a cramp in my style, but we'll see type of price action we get tomorrow bright and early. I would absolutely, though, if you could only be at your desk for an hour tomorrow, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock after that PMI number and that ISM number come out. These are inflation numbers. We know everybody's watching inflation right now because of obvious reasons. The Fed's been talking about it. We're all feeling it in our pocketbooks, as they say, right? So we definitely know that will be on our radar tomorrow. Again, I'm hoping that doesn't cramp our style in that post-opening bell trade we love in our trade room. But if not, though, don't worry. That 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock block tomorrow should be pretty darn good. Now, obviously, we'll take whatever we can get tomorrow, but I would imagine after that news comes out, we should see some good reaction that 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Now, don't forget, tomorrow morning, every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to be in our trade room trading this stuff together. We'll trade whatever the market gives us. If it's early, if it's late, I'll put all of the membership information, you guys. I'll put a button for you below this video. I'll also put a link in the description of this YouTube channel here to get you guys registered and come out and join me every day in the trade room. Let's get back to one more thing too. Don't forget, no newsletter tomorrow night, right? I will not be here tomorrow afternoon. I'll be here tomorrow morning though in the trade room. But unfortunately, the COVID stuff, it makes everything scheduling pretty difficult right now. I'm going to be out of the office tomorrow afternoon. So I hate to leave you guys hanging tomorrow night on the newsletter, but not to worry. I'll be with you tomorrow in the trade in the morning. And then again, we'll come back and we'll hit it again hard for Thursday night's nightly newsletter going into that employment number on Friday. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So again, we are trading tomorrow, but of course I won't be here tomorrow night. I'm going to be in a bunch of meetings tomorrow afternoon. I would much rather be here with you guys. All right, let's get back to our charts though. S&P's here, Nasdaq's here, gold is here. Let's grab the S&P first, as always. We'll kick this thing off with the Emini. As always, guys, I'll put some chapters at the bottom of this video, and that way you can use those chapters to navigate when you come back and watch this video tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys like to come back and watch this video as a reference, right? So you can definitely use those chapters to pick and choose where you get to. What's going on right now on the Emini? Couple things here. There are so many great clues on this chart right now. A couple components that we're watching right now. We got that range from yesterday. We had that big bold move up into that trading range. The buyers tried to push it higher. And as you guys, remember last time we talked about this, right? Ranges are going to rotate. Right? They're going to rotate back and forth. So we go up, we go down, and now we can only assume that we're trying to go right back up, right? Trying to get that retest of that high. That's one big clue here, that trading range. Again, the range kind of acting like a magnet, right? We go up, we go down, we go up, and usually that momentum will carry now as we go. So buyers definitely have a big bullseye right on that overnight high at 45, 42 and a quarter. That's one pretty interesting a part of this. What I think is more interesting, though, is that strong bear move down into a trading range as well. That range didn't exactly show up until later on in the morning, but you can definitely see that market kind of getting stuck inside of that trading range. Now, ranges, again, we know love to rotate. So what happens is we can measure the amount we go below, see how it lines up going above. Now, look what happens as it goes lower. Look what happens. The pendulum fails. We call this a pendulum swing. Think of a pendulum, right? Pendulum usually has, we're in the middle and it swings back and forth like that, right? So pendulum back and forth. Well, imagine now you put that right here. We swing it down, it swings up, right? So we're rotating back and forth here. Ranges are all about rotation. What is a very interesting clue right now, which further gives the bulls a little bit of the upper hand right now, is we see a rotation lower, we see a rotation higher. Everything seems to make sense so far, but then down here, see, rotation fails. That right there is a very bad sign for the sellers. You would not want to be a bear when you see something like that, and it does look like those buyers now are starting to get those bears worried with that kind of short covering rally there towards a close here this afternoon. That, as you can see, is a second bullish clue right now on this chart. There's one more pretty good bull clue here. You ready for it? Third component on this chart, strong move down, right? Strong move down. Now, anytime we see a strong move in one direction, what do we expect? we expect to see a retest of that low. And see what's happened here? We call this the 2-try rule. The bears have tried once. You could say the bears have tried twice, tried 3 times here. I look at this, the bears tried once, bears tried twice. And remember how we always talk about those trap entries? Right? What do we call this? We call this a 2-try failure. I mean, did you watch last night's video? If you watched last night's video, I mean, didn't we talk about this? This is a little bit bigger, right? It's a little bit bigger example of that. But remember how many times we talked about those deep pullbacks? Bears tried once, bears tried twice, right? Grab that little trap off that low. So that now, and again, you can see the buyers are just loving on the idea of that right now. So we have a lot of bullish clues on this that suggest this market wants to go higher here right now. So how do we trade this now? We get a lot of bullish clues on this. Now, I want to remind you, we still have those bears with that big monster push lower. So don't get me wrong on this. A lot of bulls, right? A lot of bullish clues, but we still have kind of that elephant in the room, so to speak, right? That open loop move, we call it, that could easily want to go back down and retest the lows. So now you guys have a kind of a good idea of kind of what's going on, right? A lot of bull clues. Would love to be a buyer on this, but at the same time, though, I really have to respect the bears because they do have that strength going lower. So how do we buy it? How do we sell it? What if it goes up? What if it goes down? What if it sits and chops sideways? If it goes higher, let's talk about going higher here. The bears really don't have a lot to work with as the market goes higher. And it's not because of momentum. You can see there's a big trend line coming here. So the bears are going to look at that. You know, if we end up going higher right now, you know, maybe you think maybe I'll sell the underbelly of that range. The bears have a hell of a problem. They get a big hurdle in front of them. So the bears really do have some trouble there. You could call that a fourth part of this, kind of a fourth clue. The bears are kind of boxed in right now. They don't really have much to work with. So knowing that, I think there are some really good opportunities here to get long on this. One of them would be just simply a breakout going higher. Now there's 2 types of breakout patterns I'll be looking for. One would be that push up, that pull back to the moving average, and the jump off the EMA. Now you'll notice they didn't get that done yet. Right? I mean, this range below us is still a magnet. So we got to be careful, right? I don't really want to buy that first one because look left, right? But at the same time, though, if I can get this thing to go 1, 2, 3, yeah, now the gig is up. Now we know exactly where those buyers want to go. Now it's going to find our entry. Let's mark up that high. Let's mark up that low. And let's drill down to a faster time frame. And we'll find the entry off the low of that channel. Okay, 1, 2, 3 breakout into hidden channel pullback. Now, remember, again, we're going to drill down to a faster time frame and find one of our price action setups we talk about right at the low of that channel. Another one would be a really strong move higher. And this is definitely very possible because you've got all those bears that are going to look at this and say, if this thing goes higher here, they're going to get out. You know, you would imagine there's probably a lot of stops up here above these highs. So we could easily trigger a short squeeze or a short covering rally and a strong run right back to those highs. If we do see a very strong run here, strong run up, shallow pullback, and higher high, you definitely want to keep an eye out for traps. Traps will be your best friend if the market starts to kind of grind and run higher. And remember, you can always increase your odds by finding that new channel and combining that trap off the low of that channel. That's definitely going to be some two kind of reversal patterns, 2 breakout patterns that I'm watching here. That 1, 2, 3 into that hidden channel pullback, right? And again, don't forget, we're not going to simply blindly buy that. My 2 favorite kind of entry patterns I like to use off those lows are going to be failures and traps. You know, we talked a bit about traps earlier. I go into a lot more detail of all of the entry patterns that I use in our quick start class. I'm not going to cover all the details in this video. The video is already pretty long, but I do want to give you all the details of how you can improve your own trading by using my 4 favorite entry patterns. That quick start class, I'll put a little pop-up there for you in the upper right-hand corner. If you haven't got consistency yet in your trading, you're looking for a couple more winning trades every day in your own trading, that quick start class will teach teach you how to use the specific market conditions to know exactly where the best entries will be, and then how to time your entries properly by using one of my 4 entry setups. By the end of that quick start class, you'll know exactly my game plan I use every day in our trade room. So definitely grab that. Now, what if we go lower here? If we go lower, this is where things get a little bit, maybe not confusing, but they get a little more foggy, right? So let's say, for example, we run lower and take out that low. A couple things you want to think about. As we go lower here, we've got that rising support. So that would definitely make me, I wouldn't mind buying off of that. The problem is now if the bears hold this, that likely means there's something up there holding this thing back, and they're trying to make a run for that low. I get a couple options I'm waiting for as we go. I wouldn't mind buying off that trend line. If we can get a shallow pullback though, right? If we get that shallow pullback, now what I want to see is I want to see these bears try once, try twice, and I'd really like to see a trap on this. We call these 2-try failures. I talked about this earlier with that 1-2 trap, right? It's kind of that same basic pattern. The reason why I want there to be a trap on this is because of the range. Again, the range is the most important, not the most important factor right now, but it is going to be on my radar. If we do pull back, you have to respect that trading range. Now, keep in mind too, these traps, they oftentimes, or these 2-try failures, they'll oftentimes turn right into a new channel. And again, you can drill down to a faster time frame and you can buy that first pullback. Again, I say pullback. We're not buying pullbacks off it. On a faster time frame, it'll be a trap or a failure, then into a pullback. You'll learn those price action setups in the video class I mentioned earlier. So a 2-try failure with trap, right, into a hidden channel pullback for that rally going higher. If we keep going lower, right? If we keep going lower, at this point now the bears have really earned our respect now. We take out that low. The bears come in. We now get to see a 2-try rule. 1 try and 2 try. Now, this is a pretty simple pattern. The key is take out that low. At this point now, that big move down will have retested now. So the bears got what they want. Now let those bears, kind of dig their own graves, so to speak, right? They're running right into an area of support. The range is right above them. Once I see those bears try once, try twice, their stops are sitting right above that high. The range is a magnet. I can now be a buyer into those stop losses using a 2-try failure. And again, you'll see a lot more examples of those patterns in that quick start class. Now, at the same time, I can now grab that new channel. And if I have enough of that momentum pushing higher here now, I can definitely buy that first pullback. Or I could definitely buy that first pullback. The key is going to be, though, if you want to buy that pullback, this move off the low has to be very, very strong. For example, right here, not strong enough, right? Not strong enough. We're going to want to see it like this. 1, 2, and then really strong pump, right? Really strong. Separate off the moving average. Then you can get it, right? This one here kind of grinded higher here, right? So again, if we do roll lower, take out that low, 1, 2, and then pop, right? That big pop running up, mark that high, mark that low, trade that rotation. 2-try failure into that first channel test, that first pullback off the low of that channel. And then where's the target on that? Yeah, the target again is back up into that big range up overhead. Now, as we go lower, can I sell this thing? Because we haven't talked anything about getting short on this. If the market was to go higher, I could probably wait for a big 1, a big 2, a big 2-try like this over here, right? The buyers once, buyers twice, and sell off that, right? Then grab that new channel and sell that. That's definitely on our radar for tomorrow. So as we run up, big move up, buyers once, buyers twice, draw that trend line, find that channel, short that 2-try failure, mark up that new channel, drill down to your faster time frame and find that short off the high there. That's one way to do it. That, of course, has to wait for a little more information tomorrow. If we do run lower here, we got some big targets for the bears at 4,500. Like I said before, there's a lot of bullish clues right now, but the bears have that big push lower here. So if we do see that strong punch lower, a couple things you want to think about, right? One would be a strong move lower. The bears hold their pullback and they jump off the moving average. What's that called? 1, 2, 3 breakout, right? Breakout of the trading range. Mark up that low, mark up that high, drill down to your faster time frame, and get aggressive. I really don't care where I am on that trade. I really don't care where I am, right? As long as I have that 1, 2, 3 breakdown. And remember, it's nothing to do with the strength of that first leg. It's all about the strength of that second leg as it comes off the moving average. Once you got that, drill down to your faster time frame, find that short off the high of that channel. Let's say the market takes off the downside, starts to grind lower. We know where the market wants to go. It wants to go to 4,500 basically. If we see the market punch lower and begin to grind, that's called a spike in channel. What do we do with spike in channels? We wait for the pullback. We wait for the buyers to fail on that first pullback, and we sell into those stop losses. It's a very, very simple trade. Very, very simple trade. So if you see the market punch lower overnight, sort of grind lower here, what's your job? Your job is to wait for that pop up. Wait for those buyers to foolishly think this is a reversal. It's not a reversal because if it keeps grinding, that's the confirmation you need. Once you see that grind motion as we're going lower, wait for the pop, wait for those buyers to buy that pullback and hit them right where it hurts. Sell right into those stop losses with not a two-try failure, but your typical failure pattern waiting for those buyers, right? It'll look like that. It'll look like that. It'll go up, the buyers will try, and we'll sell it back down again. Again, I'm just simply illustrating this stuff right now on the chart. You'll see a lot of real examples of how we apply this stuff in that quick start video that I mentioned in the upper right-hand corner. S&P looking pretty good. Again, pretty bullish here for tomorrow. We'll see what we get here, and we'll fill in the blanks tomorrow morning in our trade room. How about some Nasdaq right now? Nasdaq is very similar to the S&P. I would say it's not quite different, but it's definitely different than the S&P. Couple things here you want to think about on the Nasdaq for tomorrow. Same basic idea here. We have a range right in the middle. Of course, range markets are balanced markets. Ranges love to rotate right back and forth. So we go up, we go down, we're rotating higher now, right? We're expecting this market to keep rotating back and forth. That's one very big clue here. The second big clue that we see on this is that strong move down. You get those bears trying once, bears trying twice is exactly the setup I was talking about earlier on the S&P. There's your two-try failure. Stops, of course, are right there. You can see this one, right, pops up. Find that new channel. This one, kind of a marginal try on that one. I would have wanted that personally to be a little bit stronger, right, for that. But you can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? That two-try failure into that first channel pullback. So the buyers are on this, right? The buyers are on this right now, trying to get this baby to go right back up and retest these highs here. What else do we have here right now? What else do we have? So we got the range, got the rotation there. The bears have tried twice here, and really a lot like the S&P, there really isn't a lot of open space here. The bears really have to be concerned on this because, again, they tried a couple times. They're not getting anywhere to retest that low. At this point on the Nasdaq, I'm looking very similar here to the S&P when it goes higher. As we go higher, maybe we get a 1, 2, 3 breakout. As we go higher there, 1, 2, 3 breakout. Mark that high, mark that low, drill down to a faster time frame, and buy that first pullback. Again, it's the first test. The first test is always the best test. And as I mentioned earlier, we're not going to trade off of, this is a 4,000 tick chart, right? We'll drill down to a faster time frame. I cover all those details in that quick start class I mentioned earlier, and we'll find our trap entries. We'll find our pullbacks, our failures off the low of that new channel. This could definitely be a short squeeze. Again, you got all those bears who sold off the high. If the bears start to pick up on this thing failing, they're going to get out. And when they get out, this market easily could rip higher here. If it really begins to race, if it really begins to rip, focus on those traps. I'm not a big fan of just simply buying it as it goes higher. I like to wait for it to give me a shallow pullback, give me a little tiny trap, and then grab that trap. That's the professional trade on that one, right? Not just simply jumping in up here and hoping it keeps going higher. Find that trap. That trap will be well worth the wait. And again, if we see enough strength on this, I don't really care where I am, right? We could be right into that level of resistance. It doesn't really matter. If we have enough strength on this, strong move, shallow pullback, higher high in price, that trap is definitely going to be on my radar. I can mark up that high. I can mark up that low. Again, not required. We don't need that channel, but it sure as heck doesn't hurt. Where's our target going to be? Target's going to be up top at that 15,677 and a quarter for a pretty easy short squeeze. And then above that, boy, we have a ton of open space there on the Nasdaq. So a lot of really easy profit to make as this market goes higher here. We'll see if we can get a nice easy entry on this before we retest those highs here. As we go lower, this is exactly where that same idea comes in, but the one big difference here than the S&P is we don't want to trade inside the range. Right? The range, of course, is a magnet. We want to stay out of the range. We talked about using traps on the S&P chart. Same thing here. If I get this run lower, I really like this new channel. What I don't like about it is how close to the range it is. So what I'll do is I'll wait for those bears to try, and I'll find that trap. Your trap entry will be your best friend whenever you're trying to avoid, in this case, buying too high, right? Or buying inside of that trading range. You can see examples of traps all the time. Strong move up, shallow pullback, higher high. There's that trap. Right? People are trying to get in underneath that trading range. Same idea, right? Same idea over here. Give me that pullback. Bears try once, bears try twice, get that trap. Okay, that'll give me that shot going higher. And again, as I mentioned on the S&P, if I can get that nice strong push coming in, I can now mark up that high. I can mark up that low, find that new channel, drill down to a faster time frame, and hit it again. Grab that failure pattern. Grab that trap setup, as we call it in our video classes. And again, try failure, trade the rotation, and keep it going as we go from there. That'd be a nice setup, a little combination setup off of that low. Or if we get a really strong push, right, we get down into this area down here, right? Now at that point, we get that big push lower, so it shouldn't surprise us if these bears want to take it lower here again. If we do see a real strong move down, now we don't really need that trap. We want the bears to at least try twice, right? So same idea as we saw back here, right? Once we take out, and again, it could be this low, it could be this low. Ideally, it would take out the major low. But it really doesn't have to. That low right there, you can see there's quite a bit of support right in that area right there. So it doesn't have to take the major low out. I would like it to take out that major low, get those bears here to come in, get them to sell short a few times, right, off the moving average. It looks like this. Okay, you can see that kind of shown right there. The range above you, again, is a magnet. You're at a big time support level below that trading range. This is an easy trade. Again, the one thing you want to do, though, is don't force it. Wait for those bears to try a couple times. Their stops are now sitting right above that high. All their pain points are right there. Once those bears fail and the market sprints higher, we can now trade the rotation. Right? Trade the rotation. Remember that rotation coming off, right? Markets love to rotate back and forth, back and forth. So if I can get those bears to try a couple times and fail, and the market starts to sprint and run higher, again, mark up that high, mark up that low, and grab that pullback. Again, grab that trap, grab that failure, grab those entry patterns. I go over all the details in that quick start class, right? So try failure, right? Try failure into that kind of hidden channel pullback as we go. And then one more thing to keep in mind here, as we go lower, I've got this trend line down here. So in all reality, we may see it go even further. It may go even further, get through that low, and then same thing, right? Same thing. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, and back up again, right? So same idea there, buying off those lows, using that range as a magnet, but at the same time, respecting the momentum going lower and using that 2-try rule to again, let the sellers kind of dig their own grave, as I always say, right? And then hit them right into those stop loss. And again, I get a lot of examples of those patterns of our favorite markets in that quick start class. So how do we sell this thing now as it goes? And like I said earlier, as it goes higher here, I can see that big high up there. They may get that big high, and what is pretty likely here is we may see something like this where it makes that strong run up. They get that right. They get that channel. We get that pullback. Right? They retest. Again, like I said before, if we have enough 1, 2, 3 momentum strength, I will definitely look for the entry set up there. It may not go forever. It may not keep going until the moon, okay? But it will probably, at the very least, retest that high, which is where my first target will be on that trade. I talk a lot about trade management, all those details in that video class, by the way. So we may see that, right? We may see it go up. The buyers make their money going higher. And then all of a sudden now, then we see 1, then we see 2, and then back down in, right? And I know we're talking a lot about these 2-try failures right now, but that's just the way this chart is playing out right now. A lot of momentum swings, a lot of big moves. And whenever you have big moves, you have big momentum. So you want to make sure you're ready for that. As the market goes lower, strong move down. Can the bears hold the pullback and jump off the moving average? They didn't do it there. So I can't really just guess, right? I'm definitely not going to take that first pullback, but I'll gladly mark that low, gladly mark that high, and I will get aggressive, getting short on that, not the second pullback, but the first test of the high of that channel. Remember, the first test is always the best test. And then, of course, as we go lower, got a nice juicy target down there to get that weekend gap. And then, as I mentioned on the S&P, if we were to see it roll, run lower and then start to grind like that, those are called spiking channels. The key is just don't chase after it. Just wait for the pullback. Wait for those buyers to foolishly try to get in. Remember, at that point, once the market grinds down like that, that confirms the move. It kind of holds that move, as we say in our trade room. Once we see the market pop up off that low, just wait for those buyers to get in, and you can sell right into those stop losses, right? So buyer failure, and usually these will be just a little bit around the top, right, of that channel. We'll cover more details of that tomorrow morning, obviously, the trade room, once we get there. So again, lots of bullish clues right now, but as I always remind you guys, take what the market gives you. If the market rolls lower and keeps on grinding, we're going to be focused on our short side for tomorrow. So, even though there's a lot of bull clues right now, trade what you see, not what you think. Let's wrap it up tonight on the gold. Gold is, dare I say, very similar here to the S&P and the Nasdaq, but there's, as you can see, there's quite a lot left, kind of still outstanding here on the yellow metal. What's the most important factor we see here right now on this gold? Well, we had that reversal we talked about in last night's newsletter. Very well done on that, right? That trap into failure, into pullback on that one. I got a lot of emails from you guys today about that. So congratulations on that if you're trading that short there overnight. The bears have that really strong move down. And that's a really big part of this. Anytime we see that real strong move in one direction, it leaves kind of unfinished business. I call them open loops. And so we see the strong move down. You're expecting now those bears are going to want to retest. Now, if you go back to the S&P, here, and notice how the S&P again, right? Say they tried once, they tried twice. Remember that on the S&P, right? We go back up from there. Remember the 2-try rule, right? The 1-try, 2-try, and ripping higher here. That's going to be something similar to look for on the gold, right? So strong move down. There's the bears now. It's just really wild, right? End of the month volatility. There's your 1-try. Do we get that second try? Okay, that's kind of the key component on this chart right now. There's a range right in the middle. It's not the easiest thing in the world to find, but you can definitely tell because they bounce there, bounce, and you can definitely tell kind of began back there. That range, what's a range all about? Ranges are all about rotation, right? Focus on failures. Look for breakouts, right? We trade back and forth at support and resistance. Well, right now, as you can see, these bears have a serious problem on their hands because you got this rising support trend line. So what exactly are the bears going to do right now? Are they going to sell after a big pop off that low? Well, they might, but they've really backed themselves into a corner. In these situations, I start thinking, okay, if I'm a seller, where would I be getting in trouble and how can I capitalize on that, right? It's going to catch them on the wrong side of the market. Think about 3 different types of pullbacks on this now. So if the market goes lower, I've got that trend line. Now, you know me, I don't want to trade the range. All right, the range is the range you just simply don't want to get involved with because it will make good trades go bad for you. So in this situation, traps, right? And we talk about this quite a bit on this video. Shallow pullback trap, deeper pullback failure, okay? So again, think about that shallow pullback. I love the trade. I'm not too keen on location, but I love the fact that, again, this will be the bears trying once, bears trying twice off that trend line. I love the trade. I wish the location was a little better. I would love to get that trap off that low. That would be great. It may also end up being something like this where it goes like a bounce like this, and it goes like 1, 2, 3. Maybe I don't get the trap, and I'm grabbing that new channel and then buying that first pullback as we go. Because at that point now, the bears have now failed twice. Momentum will definitely turn. And now there's going to be pretty much a bullseye, right back up those highs at 1826.5. So that's definitely something to look for tomorrow. So kind of 2 ways to look at this. I wouldn't get too aggressive on that buy off the low here. Again, I want that trap. If I don't get the trap, I'll just wait for that pop. I'll find that new hidden channel, drop the high, off the low, right? Drill down, and I can buy that pullback from there. Okay, so hopefully we'll get that, again, 2-try failure, the trap to avoid the range, mark up that new channel. And again, remember, this is a 1500 tick chart. I am not trading a 1500 tick chart on the yellow metal. We'll drill down to a faster time frame. You'll see a lot of examples of that in the quick start class. So definitely grab that pullback off that. The other one would be, you'll notice I have a channel drawn on. Now, this channel is not the easiest thing in the world to find, right? So you find that channel. Now, if I can get down below that channel, what I'm hoping that sellers are going to come in and try to short off that trend line, right? Hopefully they will. And hopefully we can combine that now with a failure into pullback combination, right? So failure pattern at the low, pullback combination. Now, it may go a bit lower. This channel I drew on here, I drew it kind of nice and tight there. It may be a little bit lower, so you have to bear with me on that. Think of this as like a range down here, right? Kind of a zone of support down there. So again, if we can get this market to go down into this area now, get those bears to come in, try to get short off the moving average going lower, right? Remember, it's not a trend, it's a range. There's a magnet overhead there. At this point now, the bears will have tried twice. Once those bears try to get short again, their stops are right above the high. That's a failure into pullback combination coming off of that low, right? Failure into pullback combination. One of my favorite trades here whenever we have those ranges. And then again, we've got that strong move down there. If they were to run all the way down to that low now what's the problem? It's a great place to buy, but momentum is really, really bearish at that point. So what do? You give them 2 tries. Let them try once, let them try twice. And, we've talked about these variations a lot, right? Like one of my favorite variations is that trap entry. Not required, but really increases your odds of success. I also sometimes will take the entry like this, where it kind of grinds higher a bit. I'll mark up that high, I'll mark up that low, and I'll grab it off like a new channel, right? Same idea. You know what I'm saying? It's a one try, it's a two try, and you're simply buying off that channel. Now again, right? We're not just blindly buying it. I go over all the specific entry setups I like to use in that quick start class. And you'll see a lot of examples of that, right? People love that class. So 1, 2, and then back up from there, right? And then, of course, as always, you can always see if this market will really jump. If it really jumps, find that new channel. You got it, right? Get in off that first pullback. And again, I'm not so worried about buying inside the range in that situation. Because at this point now the gig is up. Now we're rotating, right, and running higher. And again, a lot of this is because of momentum. If you have enough momentum jumping off of that low, everybody's going to want to buy that pullback, no matter where you are. So kind of keep it in mind. And of course, tomorrow, I'll be right there with you tomorrow in the trade room to make sure we do it the right way. So as we go higher, now you guys know, actually, hold on. How do we sell it? Remember, at any point, if we get that strong run down, if those bears can hold that pullback and really jump through those lows, at that point, it's a 1, 2, 3 breakdown, right? Or breakout of that range. Mark up that low, mark up that high. And again, drill down to a faster time frame, right? This will usually be something like this, where it'll be like a trap, right? Mark up that little swing. Imagine now in a faster time frame, right? We get above it, trap, failure, pullback, right? Trap, failure, pullback. And again, I go over more of those. I go over a lot more details in that video class. But that's how I want to sell it off the high of that channel. Where's our next objective? If the bears can take it, 1790 area down there. And again, if we roll and start to grind, right? It's a spiking channel. Mark that low, mark that high. Find some traps. Wait for that pop. Wait for those buyers to come in. Try to get long off that bounce and just hit them right where it hurts, right? Sell right into those stop losses as it goes. Easy pattern and pretty good profit on those spiking channels. As we go higher, you can definitely see quite a bit of resistance here as we go higher. So if we do go higher here, momentum is going to be your best friend. Let's say the market was to pull back and jump off this moving average, I will definitely go grab that new channel. I will absolutely want to drill down to that faster time frame and don't miss that first entry. Okay. Now again, a little bit scary because you're buying into these highs. But again, if you see enough momentum coming off this pullback right now, pull back to that channel, find your trap entry, find your failure entry, and buy off that low. Or maybe it just jumps up, shallow pullback, higher high. There's that 2-try breakout, that 2-try trap. There's a very good chance we get this just because the buyers may take control, the bears may get squeezed, and this thing may snap right back up to that high there. So definitely like that 2-try breakout, 2-try trap as we go. And then if it was to let's say jump up and start to grind, kind of grind higher there. Again, there's that spiking channel again. Mark up those swings. In this case, we're bullish, right? So wait for that deep pullback. Get those bears to come in. Get them to sell short. And once you do, trap them right in, right? Trap them right in with that failure, right with that failure. And then also keep in mind on this, let's say it was to grind like that. Let's say the buyers tried once and the market goes lower like this now. Now what do? Yeah, now you mark up that new channel, right? And now you look for that short off the high there. Now this becomes a 1, a 2, right? See how quick that can change? That can change real fast. We see strong moves up that go 1, 2, and bye-bye a lot, especially off big-time highs like that. So if we don't get that failure to pop back up, buyers try to push it once, they make that, the giveaway is the strength of that next leg going lower. Right? It may not collapse all the way down, right? But it will usually kind of roll over. And once it rolls over, they're like, "Oh, baby, just give me the money now." Once it pulls back anywhere around levels of resistance, right? We're looking for that short on the way back down. Beautiful 2-try reversal off of that high. If the buyers keep it going, we got next level overhead at 35.5. Lots of great price action trades on our radar for tomorrow. Don't forget, The best way to capitalize on these is to do it with me tomorrow in our trade room. I would love to have you there. Go into battle right there with us. We open up every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll put all the membership links you guys need, the description of the YouTube video. So grab that link, get registered. I'll put a big button for you on the website below this video. Don't be afraid to call the office. I'm always here if you guys have any questions. We got live chat on the left, live chat on the right. And again, as always, don't be afraid to call if you guys have any questions along the way. No newsletter tomorrow night. I'll be out of the office tomorrow evening, but I will see you tomorrow morning and the rest of the week in our trade room. So keep in touch. As always, be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.